power's a really interesting thing. As a police inspector, I have power to detain people in custody or to authorise searches of their homes and properties. Celebrities have power through endorsements and being role models. They have the power to either inspire people or to create an appetite for products and services. Young people have power. Some young people have the power to change the world. They just don't realise it yet. And sadly, sometimes when they do, we don't always enable them to do that. And bullies definitely have power. Through negative and harmful words and behaviour, bullies can leave scars, both visible and invisible, that last a lifetime. In 2013, I was the Diverse Communities Sergeant for Devon. That means that I led the team responsible for being the link between the police and the minority communities in Devon. This job was about making sure that those who felt disconnected from their police service were connected. Those with quieter voices were heard, and those who'd been victims of hate crime, targeted because of who they were or where they were from, felt supported. In February 2013, I was invited to a housing association in Devon to deliver some transgender awareness training with the Intercom Trust. Now this was great because it showed that there was a housing association out there who had employed someone who was transitioning and they wanted to support them. What was interesting was that we were training a room of middle managers in their 40s and 50s, and I left there thinking, what if they'd known this when they left school? What if the policy setters and decision makers of tomorrow already knew how to celebrate diversity today? Would that make hate crime a thing of the past? Now, I've got over 25 years left in the police service, so my future Chief Constable, our future Home Secretary, are still sat in a classroom somewhere. So can I inspire them now so that they lead a more inclusive society in the future? I cycle to work and back most days. It's a 40-minute ride, and it's my space to diffuse and to think up new ideas. And on that day, I had an idea. I wanted to see celebrities and the police service working together to inspire young people to change the world. Simple. On that day, the idea for Local Heroes was born. So why is Local Heroes important? Well, 50% of hate crime goes unreported, and over half of young people are bullied. 90% of young people with a learning disability have been bullied at some point. Over 2/3 of young people who identify as LGBT have either received abuse or heard derogatory homophobic language in school. And a Department for Education survey of nearly 35,000 young people of ethnic minority heritage, nearly every single one had received verbal abuse based on their ethnicity. Local Heroes is a really simple idea. At our workshops, our team of youth workers work with local celebrities and role models, our heroes, with young people to explore attitudes and behaviours around racism, homophobia, disability, subculture, and gender identity and stereotypes. These young people leave us as Local Heroes ambassadors, returning to their school equipped with the confidence, the resources and the tools to deliver these messages in their schools and to their peers. The growth of Local Heroes continues to excite and humble me in equal measure. In 2013, when we started, we delivered 3 workshops and worked with 9 schools. Last year this increased to 9 and we created 192 young ambassadors. And by the end of November, we will have worked with over 800 Local Heroes ambassadors. By the end of 2017, we will have inspired 5% of the 12 to 19-year-olds in this country. Everybody who has been involved in this has bought into it because of the values. Now for me, I'm a police officer. Running a charity and growing it as one would a business is completely new to me. If anyone was born to be a police officer, it was me. Both my parents are police officers, my grandfather, and in fact I even found out 2 of my ancestors were original peelers. It is a family trade. But forget what you think you know about police officers. The power, the uniform, the authority. That's only a very small part of it. For me, policing is about values. I believe that the best officers are the ones with the strongest values. And it's those values that have helped Local Heroes achieve its success. The excellent core team I have, fantastic board of trustees, the people who have funded and supported our work, all buy into these set of values. We are blessed to have an amazing group of heroes working with us. Our Paralympians, Sarah Pearson, Robin Williams, Karen Seal, they've all overcome physical adversity to represent our nation at the highest level. Brian Friedman, Gemma Oaten, using their own experiences of bullying as children, as young people, to become amazing, inspiring people today. And our sportswomen, Maggie Alfonsi, Sarah Guest, Shahar Head, they are world beaters in sports, which were for men only. But the best thing about what Local Heroes does is the visible effect it has on the young people we work with. At every single one of our workshops, there has been an example of a young person who's seized the opportunity, grabbed their moment to stand up and tell others how wrong bullying is, how harmful it can be, and how important it is for them to change things themselves. From the boy who was too weak and weedy to play rugby, the girl labelled weird because she'd shaved one side of her head, or the boy that no one understood because he wasn't the girl that had started that school 2 years previously. The girl who shaved her head is one of the most articulate and inspiring speakers I've ever heard. And the boy no one understood speaks at national conferences on youth trans issues. They are real heroes. They have real power. I could stand here all day and talk to you about how harmful bullying can be, how long it can take for people to bounce back from it, or how devastating it can be for someone to be a victim of crime, yet to be targeted because of who you are or where you're from, how wrong that is. But if you're going to take anything from me today, please let it be this. Young people have so much power, have passion, they have the skills to really make things happen. And it's our responsibility to ensure that they do, to enable them, to empower them, to help them become the people they were born to be. And for me, that is what Local Heroes is about. I'd like to leave you with the story of one more young person. This was a young man who was bullied at school because his peers mistakenly thought he was gay. His love of performing arts and the fact that his best friend was a girl meant that he must be. He had boys shouting queer at him through classroom windows and puff written on his bus pass in permanent marker. This young man joined the police at 20. He introduced measures that increased the reporting and recording of disability hate crime tenfold in 12 months. He was promoted to inspector at 30, and he came up with the idea for Local Heroes. Thank you.